Do 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 do. Hi guys, so I was asked kindly on my channel to do a favourite face and eye brushes, and quick kind of, not disclaimer, but everyone calls it disclaimer, so I'm just gonna call it disclaimer. I used to work for MAC last year, before I got married basically, and so a lot of the brushes are MAC because of the discount and everything. Even though they're MAC, I've still picked like my essential brushes, and all these brushes are like, I have tons of brushes, but these are the brushes, I put them in a little box. These are the brushes that you could create a whole face with, and these are the brushes that if I lost all my brushes and I still had to go out and do someone's makeup or do my own, I would feel 100% confident with what I have and I'd be able to kind of like use them. So I just wanted to run through them quickly for you guys. I know brush videos are not the most interesting, but yeah. So I'm going to start off with face first, and you'll notice that I don't have a brush for foundation. And if you watch my tutorials and my video, you'll know that 90% of the time I apply my foundation with my fingers or with a beauty blender. If I am going to use a brush, I will use this brush. This is the Real Techniques buffing brush, and this is what it looks like. I'm sorry I had no time to wash my brushes, but yeah, this is what it looks like. Now this brush, I don't actually use this straight into foundation. What I do is I'll apply my foundation with my fingers, and then I will basically go in with this brush and just buff it in, and especially along the edge of your face where the foundation tends to just sneakily sit and not blend, that's where I will take this brush and just buff it in around the nose and around the eyebrows and all that kind of stuff. I just think Real Technique brushes, everyone says it and it's true, they have literally been a game changer when it comes to makeup brushes, and they can easily compete with the best of them, and I've never had a problem with hair loss in these brushes. So yeah, they're amazing, I love that. So that's that one face brush that I have in terms of applying foundation. The next brush is, I believe this is the 168, and you guys will see me use this one to death. This is basically an angled contour, bronzer, blusher brush, and that's exactly what I use it for. I use this for contouring, bronzer and blusher, and it's perfect. And it's perfect because it just sits, because it has that angle, it just sits comfortably on your face. And when it comes to contouring, I always use it this way, and I kind of just brush backwards, and that way it's a little bit more precise, and you can always pinch it as well and get a really nice defined contour line if you want it. And yeah, it's one of my favorite brushes. I have 3 of these brushes, so that says a lot. And I do notice that MAC brushes, they do tend to shed. It's just the way it is. It's something that even when I was working at MAC, people would kind of come in and complain about, but it honestly depends how well you look after them as well, which I will just run through at the end what I basically do. And then I have 2 more actually Real Technique brushes. This one is the contour brush. Now this one is again the Real Techniques contour brush. It's a domed tapered brush, so it is perfect for precise contouring, so exactly where you want to put the product basically. It doesn't kind of smush everywhere, kind of fly off all over your face. So I really enjoy using this brush. It's a little bit too small for blusher for my cheeks, so especially like right now, prego face, but I enjoy using this for highlighter as well, because it just applies it really softly and really lightly, and you can just kind of press it in. So that's what I use that for. That's another one of my favorites. And then I have this brush actually. This is a fan brush, and for the longest time I had no idea how to use fan brushes, and you know, no idea. I knew how to use them, but I didn't see the point of them. I much preferred applying my highlighter with one of these, a nice big brush, and get the job done. But when you want a really like feather dusting of highlighter on your face, these fan brushes are amazing. Now, the reason I'm showing this specific one is because this is by Froline 38. This is actually one of my first makeup brushes. It is actually one of my first makeup brushes that I bought, and it came in a huge set. I was a little bit skeptical about buying a random make on Amazon, but the reviews were really great and it seemed like a great starter brush kit to have, and it's the one that I've kind of recommended to people ever since, really, because I think it's about £25, under £30 I think. It wasn't that expensive, and it came with a ton of brushes. Some of them were really bad, like I think there was 2 or 3 that were kind of like, you know, the sponge applicator brushes you get in like cheap eyeshadows and stuff. Some of them were those ones, but apart from that, I used to use every single makeup brush, and that kit, that makeup brush set, saw me through for, you know, a really long time until I joined MAC basically, and I could kind of justify spending as much as their brushes are. So this is one of the brushes from there, and it's from the Froline range. I will try and link it below if it's still available. I'm sure it is. But yeah, Amazon is a good place, I feel, to get makeup brushes, but always make sure, I try and make sure it's a UK seller, or I try and make sure they're kind of from the EU, because I feel like, you know, brushes from anywhere else, you never know if they've been tested properly, what hair it is, if it's okay to use around your eye area, just that kind of stuff. So that's one of my favourite brushes as well. And then onto eye brushes. So there's not a lot actually. Okay, so eye brush. First brush is this, the 208 by MAC, and this is what it looks like. Focus, yeah. So it's an angled brush basically, but it's soft. It's not really stiff compared. There's another angled brush that they do that I always use. You'll see me use when I do my eyebrows, and the reason I didn't include that in this video is because it's the only angled brow brush really that I own. But apart from my brows, I don't really enjoy using it for anything else. It's really stiff and really harsh, and it drags my skin a lot, so I don't like using it underneath. I don't like using it with eyeliner either, because it just isn't precise enough. But this one's softer, so I feel like this one is great for brows, like under eye, your liner, all sorts basically. So that's why I included this one. But you can get angled brushes pretty much anywhere, but this is the 208 by MAC, which is one of my favorites. And then this used to be my favorite brush ever. This is the 217. Again, really sorry, it's really dirty. This is the 217 by MAC, and this is like a cult eye brush, makeup brush. And the reason that is because it is the perfect size. The bristles are just kind of, I'd say it's a little bit tapered, but I feel like this brush does the blending for you. If you have a hard time with blending eyeshadow, try and use this brush, or go to MAC and get someone to demo this brush using an eyeshadow. And you'll see it's just comfortable to hold, and it really does all the work for you, because it has kind of obviously longer brushes and it's tapered, so the shorter brushes kind of blend out the eyeshadow for you. So all you gotta do is sit there and kind of just move your hand back and forth, and it does most of the work for you. It's one of those brushes that is easy to clean. You can use it multiple times in one go, and yeah, it's just one of my favorite blending brushes really. And yeah, that's 217 by MAC. Now, the reason I say that used to be my favorite is because my favorite for the longest time now, and I think it's because the 217 is a blending brush that is a bit more for like intense, precise blending. So if you're gonna do maybe like a cut crease, or if you're gonna really go for like a dark eyeshadow in the crease, this is a good one, because it'll apply it exactly where you want it. whereas this one has become my favourite because that's how I've been enjoying doing my eyeshadow recently, and that's a much more softer blended look and one that's like more like a wash of colour. And this is the 224 by MAC. This is what it looks like close up. So you can see it's tapered again, but it's longer and it is so much softer as well, which means that when you dip it into eyeshadow, you wash it onto your eyelid, it's gonna disperse a lot more and spread out a lot more. So sometimes you might find that you use the 217, like for example, you've applied some colour here, and because it's a stiffer brush, the 217, you can go ahead and use this one and it helps kind of basically diffuse the eyeshadow. Although I didn't do a good job there. But yeah, so that's one of my favourite brushes to use, and I feel like if you're going to get any brushes from MAC, these two, the 217 and the 224, and they will see you through and help you kind of just achieve different eye looks, definitely. Then I have this one. This was much neglected until, you know, a few months ago when I started to really enjoy doing looks like this one, and that is more like a blended smoked out lash line. Or I never really used to enjoy putting colour or kind of even eyeliner or anything on my lower lash line here and blending it. I never used to think it suited me, but then I kind of just thought, to hell with it, I'm gonna do it anyway. And this brush has definitely helped in that it's the perfect size to get underneath your lash line, and it's the perfect size when you want to kind of smoke out a lash line like I've done here. The next brush is actually one of the final two brushes. This is my eyeliner brush, and this one is by Zoeva and it's the 315, and I love this brush. It's very similar to an Inglot one as well. They do like an angled brush, and because it's angled, it's easier for you to basically do a wing because the brush is already kind of angled lifting up, so it makes it a lot easier as well. I'll do a video if you guys want to see one on doing winged liner, but definitely recently I've been enjoying using like a felt pen lazy girl's eyeliner. I've really been enjoying using that, so I've not used this brush as much, but it is really one of my favorites, and it's really thin, really precise, so you definitely have to build up, but that's the best way if you want a really clean eyeliner look. And then I'm going to show this brush, but it's not actually one of my favorites, but the reason I'm showing it is just as an alternative and give you guys an idea. And this is, I think it's by Funky Foxes. Yeah, it's Funky Foxes, and this is actually a paintbrush. Now, this I got from Hobbycraft. So paintbrushes and eye brushes, not so different, although you definitely have to feel out the brushes. You don't want something really harsh, you want something that is really quite soft and it's not going to irritate the eye. So I would say, you know, definitely go ahead, have a look in your craft store for brushes that you think would work, but always kind of test them out and just be careful when you're using them for the first time, because at the end of the day, then they are different. They're the same, but they're different kind of hairs basically. So yeah, those are my favorite brushes. Not a lot, but they work. And yeah, I hope that video was helpful for you guys. I'm so sorry if I sound out of breath or like I'm constantly burping. It's like prego problems right now. I can't really say much about it, but I really wanted to film this video, and because one of my lovely subscribers requested this. I have back pain now, so I'm gonna go, and I will see you guys in my next video. Let me know what you guys want to see, because sometimes I just run out of inspiration and I feel like Kylie Jenner makeup looks are the only things people want to see. So yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.